Good afternoon, parents. So give me 1 second here. I am just going to do a split screen. Okay, so unfortunately, the podcast software that I usually use to get free podcasts is down. So sometimes it goes down, sometimes it comes back. But I was hoping to just record the meeting and then send it off. Unfortunately, we have to do this instead. So if you're trying to avoid looking at me, which was the reason you didn't want to come to the meeting, I'm sorry. Unfortunately, this is the next best thing. So I'll just go really fast through what we talked about. First of all, we watched as a little group a video. It was actually a homily from a priest who just did it's one of the most amazing things I've ever heard. So it was just this really beautiful story. I'll post it in the email. So if you'd like, I'll even put the time. You don't have to listen to the whole thing. I wouldn't recommend it because it's a little longer. But I'll just put the time up, and then you can kind of get the gist of what we talked about. Immediately after the video, we opened it up to questions. So if anybody had some questions, so we talked about that for a little bit, and then we went on from there. So yeah, highly encourage watching that, and I'll talk about why I played it in a second. But let us begin just with some statistics. If you haven't noticed, I love statistics because it just gives us an idea, right, of like some solid evidence, some proof of okay, how does this whole thing work? And so for our kids who have taken the faith after college or have lived the faith into the future, past the home, past college, and hopefully to the end of their lives. There's a few statistics. I just did a boatload of research that stuck out to me in particular, and the obvious one is they separated the study into three categories. Parents who take their faith very seriously was the top one. Ones that take it moderately seriously was the second. And then ones who don't really take it seriously at all. And it was very interesting. So the people at the top who took their faith very seriously had about a 60% correlation with their kids also taking it very seriously. And then on the reverse of that, the ones who didn't take their faith seriously, they had about an 83% chance of their kids not taking it seriously either. So it's an interesting dynamic. They actually switched, and so why is that, right? Why is it harder to? Why do the statistics show that the number of children is less likely to follow their kids? And it makes sense, right? Because it's an uphill battle, right? Just through concupiscence, through original sin, we want to just not do anything, right? We don't want to strive for greatness. We don't want to live for perfection. That's just the way that it goes. So it is, right? So in order to, I've noticed if I want to help somebody come to the faith, I have to work 3 times as hard. And that's pretty close to like what the statistics show. In order to be an example, right? Nobody cares about what we tell them. Because the faith isn't something that's verbal, right? I can tell you, I can read this whole book to you, which is the Catechism of the Catholic Church. This one's Spanish, so it wouldn't mean anything to you. Anyways, but if it was in English, I could read the whole thing and it wouldn't move a horse to water, right? It just the faith is experienced. They see the heroic example, and then it's like, whoa, that's attractive. And not to mention that the prayers and sacrifices that we offer up for the children now God will respond to that, right? It took Monica 30 years, and she was a saint. She was praying for St. Augustine for 30 years and persevered. Eventually, she had a dream that St. Augustine, at the time he had like a concubine, had a child out of wedlock, was basically, lying in order to kind of get to his place of power. Was very intelligent. And then he met with Bishop Ambrose. And Bishop Ambrose actually talked to St. Monica first. And he said, my daughter, I wouldn't worry too much. A mother who sheds such tears for her child will not have a child who will be lost or whatever, like something like that. And so it really just kind of shows like how much do we care, right? If we care like Saint Monica, we're in really good shape. And so yeah, so it really falls on us, right? As adults, especially you as parents, because just like statistically speaking, that is the number one correlation is how well the parents live it will directly impact the children. And so yeah, so I think that my goal for the last part of this year is to really to help us to not just have information, right, but have the fire of faith, right, like the Holy Spirit. So Jesus says, "I have come to cast fire on the earth, and now I wish it was already blazing," right? So what's he saying there? He doesn't mean that like I'm at one point just gonna light this whole place on fire for fun. But actually, he's talking about our hearts, right? He wants us to be consumed with the love of God, consumed with love of the faith. But the only way we're going to do that is if we know what we're given. On the outside, Catholicism is extremely boring, extremely. If you don't know that yet, you haven't been to a Catholic Mass. Just ask the babies who are crying and crying and crying. That'll give you evidence of what I'm talking about. No, I'm just joking. Babies are awesome. And actually, those are the sweetest sounds in the whole Mass, right, for God, is listening to the sound of a baby, right? Because those are the most beautiful. The new baptized babies are most beautiful in the eyes of God. So I think that we are probably a little less so in our adulthood. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. But to really fall in love with the faith, and we can only do that through hearing people by catching fire, right? If I'm going to go light a fire somewhere, I need to have fire already, right? And then I can go light somebody. And so I kind of drew up this game plan. So as you can see here, I made a bunch of these. So like you can see all of these have a different video, or I think half of them, because I printed two, but they have a different video. So one for each week. And I've been Catholic for 10 years. I have combed YouTube, and I've combed all these amazing speakers and preachers and people that just like love the faith, and it'll like help us love the faith. Like once we kind of see it and hear it and we receive it in the way that they present it, you can feel the fire. Like you can literally feel the fire coming off them. Like, because when you listen to their homilies, it just like blows you out of the water. Beautiful, beautiful sermons. And so I wanted to compile all that for you guys. This will be my last semester here. So I do feel called back to the seminary, and I want to, I was just telling the parents that if I don't evangelize to the adults, if I don't, offer something for the parents, I've really wasted my time here in a sense, because going back to it, it's not me who's going to have the biggest impact. It's the example, right? I'm not in their lives enough to really provide that example on a day-to-day basis. I can't, show them lived out, what this is. I can tell them about it. I get super excited about it. I can fast for them. I can pray for them. But at the end of the day, they can't see this, right? They can't see on a daily basis. And so yes, I want to just offer that. I'll send this home once a week with the kids. I think last week some of you might have got it, some of you didn't, but I will continue to send those home. I'll also send an email once a week. And again, like this is something that's optional. If you want, you can take it. The last thing that I wanted to mention that I forgot to mention at the meeting was that we do have an opportunity for in this during Lent, again, kind of shifting focus here to you guys. I want to offer a class for the parents. If you guys would like to come to the parish center, we'll have donuts. It'll be awesome. I want to hear from you. So like, what is like something that you guys want to talk about? If there's a topic that you want to send me, then we can talk about it. If you don't want to do this, that's completely fine. But just let me know if you do want to do it. I'd much rather teach the sixth grade students than and kind of stick with them and kind of give them what I can, rather than go to a class with one person in the parish center. So just let me know if you are interested in this class during Lent. I'd be more than happy to find a substitute and then just come over here with you, and then we can talk about things on an adult scale. it's nice because for adults, I don't have to like convince you. With the kids, I have to like put on this whole charade in order to get them interested. So that's basically all that I have. I think that that was for the most part what we talked about at the meeting. And yeah, please pray for me. I will do my best to kind of give you the information. Like I said, you can, just like all of us, we all have the opportunity, to kind of learn more, go deeper, like receive more grace from God, or we can miss it. But regardless, like I just want to do my part, right? The Lord is gonna ask me, "What'd you do, Tom?" So I just want to do what I can to kind of offer this, and yeah. So okay, you guys are amazing. I want to thank you very much for your time, for your kindness, for your patience. All that's been really well appreciated. And yeah, your kids are all awesome. Like I enjoy teaching them the faith, kind of, walking through the classrooms and stuff like that. So I've really enjoyed my time here. Please keep me in your prayers as I move forward, and I will pray for you. All right, God bless you. Have a great day. Bye bye.